valuing that there's still low morale.
But it's not just about money.
Oh, I understand that, but let me tell you, money is really important.
I know. And I want everyone to get a raise, and I think we'll figure it out. There may be money elsewhere. I mean, that's part of, I mean, we seem to find money in all these little pockets, so.
Well, we're trying, right, but we haven't found it yet.
I agree about tabling, but I think what this does is it gives us an opportunity to all get on the same page.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
They need to see the relationship between what they requested tonight and the request for funds. So I think we need time for that.
But I also,
data's good.
Yeah, data is good. I also don't want that to be perceived as a threat, that because faculty came and spoke to us, that there are issues, that now we're taking away your money. We're not. We're postponing this, and we have a lot of issues to work out well beyond money.
Right. So I have a motion, and it's been seconded, so I need a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. This has been tabled. And then the staff compensation, Mary D.
Yes.
Is that also tied to the reorganization?
Well,
what we did is we looked at what Meredith thought the taxes would bring in and think. Now, everything is tied, okay? But we allocated what was taken from the instruction was put back at instruction in salaries, okay? Then when Steve Conry
and Associates.
Yeah, Condry came, we put the salary study at 100%, and then saw, given the new revenues that we projected, okay, that the staff had not received any increases in 5 years, that then we could afford 2.5 plus the staff salary study implemented, which is going to bring it to, what was the projected cost, Meredith?
$397.
Who said the number?
I did. Sorry.
309. I have that. Okay. I thought, am I hearing? I'm hearing voices now. Is it on here? The staff too.
Yeah, because we've got it.
Well,
yeah, 103,000 for, yes. Yeah, here it is, 103,000 for equity adjustments and the cost of living increase of 294.
can I just ask a question?
Yes, please, of course.
So where is this money coming from? This is $400,000?
Okay.
Yeah.
When we had the revenue increases from the property tax assessment, from all of those things, those revenue categories in ING, and then all of the changes that happened with it is what's allowed this to happen. I might suggest that if we table these and that we look at options, because there can be phase-ins, there can be moving this, changing that, and because we talked about the 2.5 is truly only a cost of living increase and not a salary increase. So we can look at options as long as we lock in the expenditure. That we can look at both of these together, and I think they should be looked at together.
I don't see how this pot of money, that pot of money, is still more than this amount, that faculty couldn't come from that. But anyway, I'm going to move to table.
Okay.
And it's a question of timing. So we meet on a monthly basis. We're going to meet in May. These wouldn't be effective until July anyway. So
that's correct. So we still have time to have a special work session or anything to look at this further, but and still lock in the budget, because the budget's just the total number.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
I mean, there's details in the budget, but it's really that's what we're doing.
Okay, Linda made the motion.
Move to table.
Second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion's tabled. Tuition and fees.
Yes, and we're recommending now. Oh, I'm sorry.
Where did we put the adjunct faculty compensation?
The adjunct faculty compensation is that I thought was being
Together with the
added to
other
this,
one.
it should be into this faculty. So I'm assuming that all the compensation.
Okay, so then we're tabling the three.
Everything.
Just
The
so that
three.
everybody knows.
Yes.
The adjunct faculty, and then for the May meeting. Okay, thank you.
Okay, now on tuition and fees, we're recommending no increase in tuition and fees this year. We've looked, across the board in New Mexico, we're not seeing a lot of movement in the tuition and fee areas. So we are asking,
Universities.
well, I mean, I'm talking about community colleges, because everybody
But
knows.
CNM is going to have an increase.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them that, a lot of the schools aren't having the increase, and so, but there's some that, and we were recommending that this is not what we do at this time.
I move approval of the tuition and fees for
push the button.
funding year 14.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
My job is gonna be easy.
And last but not least, Mary D., the approval of the 2014 budget for submission to the New Mexico Higher Education Department.
Madam Chair, we went over the budget and the issues in the budget, and so I'm asking that we approve the dollar amount, and of course, we can put in a budget adjustment request the very next month. So I'm requesting that the board approve that at this time.
I think we have to approve this knowing that we probably are going to be changing.
Yes, and those would be bars, right?
Yes.
Right.
So we need a motion,
I just made it, I moved to approve.
second. Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. All right, and I had skipped Dr. Guzman, approval of regular day of board meeting.
Yes, and I think the issue is that our board meetings were on the fourth Thursday of every month. And that happens to be the same time that one of our new board members has her meetings. And so we thought that you could change.
Sure.
And the recommendations that we thought made some sense was either having it the third Tuesday, because Tuesdays are better because conferences and everything else, or the third or the fourth Tuesday, but then that would give Kathy two board meetings in 1 week. And I checked with Merity and Finance, and that would not impact our reports. So we could have it the third Tuesday of each month. Finance would not be in trouble, and you would be able to have one meeting 1 week and the meeting the next week. So I'm just presenting the options that we've looked at.
Makes sense?
Third
Makes sense?
Tuesday.
Fourth,
The third Tuesday or the fourth?
third or fourth, it doesn't really, yeah. Kathy?
I'm sorry to be the difficult one.
No,
on this one, and
you're not
I appreciate
difficult.
you being flexible, so.
We are flexible. Which one would be best? I think we all agree that either one is fine. Fourth?
Third.
Third?
Tuesday.
All right, make the motion.
I move that our regular board meeting be the third Tuesday of every month.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So the next meeting will be when, Teresa?
The 21st of May.
May 21st, which is the day before graduation, right?
I think better before than after.
Yeah, right. Okay, thank you so much. That takes care of that. And we have some information items.
Yeah.
Oh, Kathy,
One
sorry.
on the meeting date. It would be great if we could get that posted up on the website. That was part of my confusion, that the website actually said that the meetings were every fourth Thursday. So I think we just need to, as for a matter of public information, it's nice
Yes.
if a community knows and can expect when
Yes,
those regular meetings are going to happen. And I'm
absolutely.
sorry for making that.
No, that's
Change.
important. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think they're taking notes back there.
I'll make that change.
Thank you, Teresa. We appreciate that. And you have some info items?
Yes, Madam Chair. And for the new board members, the board takes actions on purchases over $300,000, but we always, anything over $100,000, we report as an information item so that you'll know about it. And it's always after the fact. And one of them that we have done, it's not really over 100,000, but if it's getting close, we put it on there, because especially if it's an interesting information item. Increasingly, with an email environment that we live in, all our communications happening on email, we need more sophisticated retrieval systems many times for different reasons. So we're fixing the problem. You can't go back, to be able to go back, when you need to, 5 years, 6 years from there, because you never know with all this information what to save. So we've purchased some software to make that more efficient and more reliable retrieval software, and so that I'm reporting there. The next thing is the Accounting Operations Improvement Plan. We've been moving, staff's been moving, we put a team in place, moving forward with an improvement plan. And the plan itself is not in this in tonight's board meeting, but I will bring it next time because it was presented earlier so that you can see it. It's the plan that's linked to every single audit comment and how we're moving forward. We've done what we can do in terms of improving the audit exceptions, but now it's time to really dig in. And so now that the bulk of the budget process is done, then I'm going to be moving into accounting operations very, very heavily to make sure that it's a sophisticated system. We'll be working, Amy and I will be focusing on nothing but that, except for developing options for the president and the board. But we'll be working on going in there to make sure that everything is reconciled as it needs to be. There's many, many accounts, but we've trained staff and we've done a lot of work. So you'll see a lot of progress in that report in the next month as we go in there and assess and make sure that everything's in ship shape.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You've done a great job tonight. You must be very tired.
I'm a little tired. I think everybody is. But thank you for that, acknowledging that. Appreciate it.
And I think we have a couple of policies that are first reading, so usually, unless Dr. Gonzalez and Dr. Liz have comments to make, we just simply wait till the next meeting. They are in our packets.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I'm looking at that first policy, and,
Right.
and it doesn't have any underlines or strike-throughs, so I don't know what got changed. Is this a brand-new policy?
Madam Chair, Ms. Siegel, it actually isn't a brand new policy, but it was changed so much from the prior policy because the Dual Credit Act went into effect in what, 2006, 2008?
And we never changed our policy since
No. Our policy was from 2003.
So in essence, this is a new policy.
In essence, it's a new policy, and it would have been really difficult to do the red line and all, because it was so different. And Rebecca, if you want, Rebecca was the one who wrote that up, so that's why I'd like her to be here.
Well, I don't have any questions on it right now. I just wondered what the changes were.
Yeah,
But
it was
all new, pretty much.
Pretty much. What happened was when we initially had the first one in 2003, it was before the 2008 administrative rules came into effect for dual credit. And so none of that was actually reflected in the policy that we had. In fact, it was actually contrary to the new rules, because we were saying that the high schools were having to pay for tuition and fees, which obviously per the state administrative rules is incorrect. So we just really did a lot of work to make sure that it was now referring to those state rules.
And it was through the Student Success Council that this policy was developed and redeveloped. And did the Academic Council weigh in on this one also?
we did.
Joint meeting, since we brought the two councils together, it was actually during our first joint council.
Yeah, it's working really well. The councils are working really well, where Carmen and Ron Liz meet, and then they see what policies need to be redone, like this one from 2003 to 2012, and then decide whether they will have a joint council meeting if it's a policy that impacts both, or they can meet separately. And I really think that that is great collaboration that all of the staff is showing.
And what we did is we've got experts in the area of admissions. We had Rebecca and the director of admissions all working. They had a committee that did admissions policies. And then they brought that with their perhaps concerns about certain policies that we had. And so that's the first step, is that we look at it, and then they go back and they come back with a draft document that we then give them feedback on, and then we pass it through, we take it to the executive team, we forward it to staff and faculty senate so they can review, and so they're aware of the policy change.
And they can weigh in.
Yes, they can.
And if you have any comments, you may send them to Dr. Gonzalez. Any changes that you want to suggest as you read
So
them.
we're talking about the calendar development now?
No.
Or is
We were still
no.
on the
we're still on the other
dual
one?
credit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we can move to the other one.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, the other one is
Well, I have a question.
Dr. Liz.
I have a question about the next one.
Can I ask you just a quick question on process? So do they go for the students too? Do the students have a chance to input on the policy?
The students are on the councils, so they have an opportunity to weigh in on policies. However, we didn't have any objections from students on these admissions policies. We had one admissions policy that we haven't finished, and it was the general admissions, I believe, and there was some contention on that, just as to whether or not to change it, but we'll bring it back to the councils and let them review it again. Okay.
And that's why we thought it was so important to have a separate tab under councils. So if students aren't able to participate in the councils, they can read that. And I think for next year, I would like to look at paying the students for their council work, because we give scholarships to our students for being in student government, which is a good way to incentivize student participation. And if we continue to believe that these councils are doing good work, then we need to incentivize it for students.
Madam Chair, President, members of the board, this policy again was one that needed to come and get refreshed, because it used to sit on my desk and work with the cabinet, and those are two pieces that don't exist anymore. So we had to kind of put the process for approval into a document. So that's the main part of this, is how it goes through approval. There was a lot of discussion. It's interesting on the what date should be included in the calendar. But the reality is, if you read it, it says these must be included, and then we can put other things in there if we need them. So these are it just addresses, here's the core things that go in the calendar, and the process that goes through for approval before it goes forward. So it's pretty, again, it's more of a clean up the policy and make it fit the organization as it exists today.
Right.
Madam Chair, I have a comment more than anything else. I noticed under your policy statement number 5, the petition to graduate deadlines. Across the country, community colleges are eliminating that process and putting in place instead a transcript review where the faculty or the staff actually looks at transcripts to find students who have enough credits to graduate, because so often our students don't know what it takes, and they do not know to petition to graduate. Community colleges across the country have raised their graduation rates by leaps and bounds, I mean huge percentages, by making that change. So I just mentioned
actually,
that.
we do that as well. and this is just the final date, and we don't hold people to this date, to tell you the truth. They come up, we will have petitions approved the day before graduation. So while we put this in here to encourage people to go forward with it, what we're changing actually is the deadline. We used to do it in the spring semester for spring graduation, and we're moving it back to fall semester so that we have a chance to talk to a student to make sure that they take the right classes in the spring so they actually can graduate. So
Would it even be in here?
well, it alerts them of what needs to be there. So
We can get into detail.
Right.
yeah.
What,
Suggest that.
And actually, this is a good conversation. I'll take it back to people and have them ask questions about it, and see if there's other rationale behind it that we think we need to bring forward.
What began this year was the Center for Academic Transitions. And in that center, the first piece of work is to identify any students who had over 60 hours. We found over 500 students who had over 60 hours. And so it is the work of the counselors and the advisors in the Center for Academic Transitions to bring the students in. We call them, we look at their transcripts to see if they can graduate. And if they can graduate, we are graduating them.
Great, thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, we've done a few things. We used to charge a graduation fee. That's been gone. So we've been doing some other things to make it easier for students to actually go through the process.
Yeah, and you will see, and we'll be very pleased at the increase that you will see this year in graduation rates.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Every year we refresh a resolution that we have that has been approved in the past for the board election of officers, and I'd like to read it to you because we'll have a vote again tonight. It says, each year at the scheduled regular board meeting in April, which is this one, the Santa Fe Community College Governing Board shall elect officers in rotation. The vice chair shall become chair, the secretary shall become vice chair, and one of the non-officer members shall be elected secretary. The chair, vice chair, and secretary each serve a one-year term. Should any officer resign his/her office or from the board, the rotation process will be utilized to replace him/her. It is not compulsory that any board member participate in the officer rotation. So I need a motion to accept it this year, and if so, it will be adopted today.
So moved.
Any discussion, any questions?
I think we had some email traffic back and forth about what we were going to do about the one member since we started at the same time, and I think what came back was that was a game of chance to decide.
Oh, that was one of my
rotates,
suggestions.
right?
But the reality is,
How does that-
so Chris becomes the chair, I become the vice chair, and Andrea then becomes the secretary. And then next year,
We rotate it.
one of you all will
Okay.
become
Yeah.
the secretary.
Okay.
You
So
can
that
flip a
everybody during their
coin.
term gets to serve
Mhm.
as the chair and vice chair and secretary.
So the motion has been made and seconded, and I need, do we have a vote? We have
Aye.
a vote, right? Aye, it passes. And we need another one for the HEC, but it's not here. So we have done the same thing, the rotation of officers in that one, in which case Linda will be the chair.
We can't do it, it's not on the agenda, can we?
Sorry.
Action on something that's not on the agenda.
Right.
Wrong board for the HEC, but I also think that what we just
Wrong board.
the resolution, but you didn't actually elect the officers, so maybe you just want to do one slate of officers as a scribe to make sure you conduct your election.
Okay. So the slate of officers, Linda, you have mentioned the slate of officers.
Chris, Linda, Andrea, and Natalie.
Okay? Does that suffice?
All those in favor?
I move to adopt the slate of officers that's been presented.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
That says election of officers, can't we do the HEC? But this is not the HEC board. Yeah.
So we have to have an HEC.
We'll do that in May, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Announcement of board representatives for the GROW board. Martha Romero has accepted, and we're very pleased with that. And for the TCC, Kathy Keith, and they're both terrific choices to really move forward with our issues. Thank you so much for accepting. Next meeting, May 21st, then, right? We'll know the time at some point, and I need a motion now to move into closed session.
I move we go into closed session for the purposes of discussing personnel and potential litigation.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
What happened?